Now at 6 o'clock on WKYT this morning, an unexpected discovery may be the answer to a Central Kentucky family. It's an answer they've been waiting for. State police investigating after a body was found in Clark County. Those details coming up.
Plus, an Owsley County woman's been released from jail 3 months after police say she killed her parents. We'll find out why coming up.
And the state shuts down a Lexington daycare after a toddler was left in a van alone for hours. That's coming up on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good Saturday morning to you. I'm Michelle Chamberlain.
And I'm Sean Moody. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday. It's WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. Let's get a check of your forecast with meteorologist Mike Linden.
Sean, we are looking at the potential for flash flooding as we work our way into the afternoon and into the evening of Saturday. Right now, things are as calm as they're going to be, but as you can see on Defender, we are finding those thunderstorms now beginning to pop. You look toward the Franklin County area and see this particular shower moving eastward. Right now, it's just some light rain, but as a frontal system continues to dive into the bluegrass, that is going to trigger those thunderstorms as we work our way into the middle of the day. We look off to our west as well. Low pressure working its way eastward and bringing with it quite a bit of active weather too. You also look at the Missouri area. Some flash flood warnings in effect there already in anticipation of the strong storms moving eastward. And that's what we'll be tracking here on Saturday that could bring with it the potential for flash flooding. I'll show you the areas of greatest risk coming up in about 10 minutes.
Mike, thank you. Family and friends of a missing Northern Kentucky couple will search for them again today in Clark County.
Yeah, death investigation is already underway. The remains of a body were found over an embankment of Goshen Road. That's not far from Interstate 64 east of Winchester. WKYT's Mike Byers at the live desk this morning with details on the investigation. Mike?
Kentucky State Police out of Columbia say they are hopeful the body is connected to a missing couple who police say was murdered. The Clark County Sheriff says it looks like the remains have been there for some time. He also said it appears to be an adult, but he could not give any more details because the body was so decomposed. Kentucky State Police have taken over the investigation. They're also handling the investigation into the disappearance of Bobby Jones and Crystal Warner. Their bodies have not been found. Police have not confirmed the body is connected to the couple, but family and friends think that the body found is Jones.
I'm sure that it is. I just wanted to tell my mom that I told her we'd find him. I just want us to make sure we find Crystal too, because I know Bob would want that.
The family is still waiting on confirmation that the body found is Jones. Police say they think the couple was killed last month in Washington County. Police have charged Craig Pennington with their murders. Family says they'll start searching for Crystal Warner in Clark County today. They say they got reports the couple's car was spotted there. State police don't expect a positive identification until next week. At the live desk, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Thank you, Mike. 3 months after police say she killed her parents, an Owsley County woman has been released from jail. Police charged Lynette McQuinn with 2 counts of murder, and a judge set a $1 million bond. But a grand jury did not indict her within a 60-day period, as Kentucky law requires. So a judge ordered McQuinn to be released from jail. A family that lives near the home where McQuinn's parents lived says she showed up at their home and asked where her parents were.
She was still in her jail outfit. As soon as I realized, we were both extremely nervous.
The attorney office would not comment on why McQuinn wasn't indicted within 60 days, but she's still facing charges, and her case can still be sent to another grand jury.
Voters in a small Perry County city will decide this November whether or not it should be dissolved. A petition to dissolve VICO was presented to the Perry County clerk earlier this week, and county leaders say there were enough signatures on it to put that issue on the ballot. The city's mayor says some people in VICO feel like they're not getting enough services for the amount of taxes they're paying.
You still feel like you've not done something right if so many people want, to dissolve the city, but then you got to think of what their reasoning is behind it.
The mayor says the city will lose a lot if it's dissolved. If that happens, all the assets of the city will become the property of the Perry County Fiscal Court.
The Kentucky Cabinet for Health and Family Services has filed an emergency suspension order to close a Lexington daycare. We've learned that an order has been sent to the owner of Precious Jewels Schools of Excellence, suspending their license. The cabinet started investigating the daycare after getting a report that a child had been left in the daycare's van for hours. Police say the daycare was supposed to drop the child off at the mother's house on Wednesday afternoon. The daycare owner found the child alone in the van parked outside of the daycare around 2 a.m. Thursday. The daycare will remain closed until the investigation is complete. A Lexington volunteer group is working to get a school ready for the new year. The Kiwanis Club is working on Harrison Elementary School's playground today. High school, college, and adult members of the group will all come together to get the playground ready for the kids. They go to work at 9 o'clock this morning.
Today you can test drive a new car and help animals here in Lexington. For every BMW test drive today from 9:30 this morning to 4:30 this afternoon, Don Jacobs BMW will donate $25 to the Lexington Humane Society. It's all part of the BMW Drive for a Cause event. The Humane Society will also have some of their animals there at the event. You can see them, pet them, or maybe even take one home. You can stop by for that test drive today at the Don Jacobs BMW on Nicholasville Road.
So you could take a cute little dog home in your new BMW.
Yeah.
Not a bad day.
You can take maybe on the test drive, see if the dog likes the car, you know, you got to get the whole package deal.
All is right with the world, right?
It's 6:06 on your Saturday morning, and WKYT This Morning is just getting started.
A one-of-a-kind daycare in Lexington is working on a transportation solution with Fayette County Schools. The option has some parents upset. That story is ahead on WKYT This Morning.
Plus, we'll take a look at an interesting sculpture honoring the fallen Dallas police officers. That's after Mike's forecast.
It is a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day, and I'm tracking the potential for flash flooding. I'll show you where coming up. WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day here to kick off the weekend. Just by looking at the radar right now, you wouldn't necessarily find any active, strong storms, but things are now just starting to get going. You can see these storms now popping a little bit. Right now, just some light showers moving through the Franklin County area and through Owen County. You can now see that those storms are growing a little bit, showing some heavier rainfall within it. And just give it some time, and we are going to find more storms developing along this frontal boundary, cutting the Bluegrass State in two. We look off to our west, low pressure as well, working its way eastward, bringing with it heavy rain and thunderstorms. Not to mention, you look at these little green boxes here close to the cold front over the Missouri area. Those are flash flood warnings, and we are likely to find some flash flooding once again here in the Bluegrass. Of course, pinpointing where it will be is the most difficult, but what we do know is that the southern portion of Kentucky over the past week, over the past 2 weeks really, has seen a lot of rain. Some spots like in Clay County and Breathitt County saw 2 to 3 inches of rain in just an hour Thursday evening. So what we are going to find for those southern Kentucky spots is the highest risk for flash flooding. Even a half of an inch to an inch of additional rain could create for some concerns. Now, central Kentucky, that includes Fayette County, Franklin County, Clark County, a more moderate risk, and that risk diminishes the more north that you go in the Bluegrass today. But you'll see here on the hour by hour that when we do find the active weather, that it will sit in place for quite a while. This is right around 2, 3 o'clock today. Notice this swath of moisture just connecting across the Bluegrass. That's going to work its way south and eventually settle in on the south and the southeast through the afternoon and evening. There is where our problem arises, because what you need for flash flooding is a lot of rain in a relatively short period of time. But if we continue to see heavy rain through our afternoon and even up till about 10 o'clock this evening, well, that could create, again, for some local high water issues, something to watch out for, especially if you live next to a smaller creek or a smaller stream, especially downhill. Working our way into Sunday, that's where things do get a little bit better for us. Behind that cold front, cooler, drier air works its way in. Now, by no means will we be cooler, but we will feel a little drier out there simply because of that lack of moisture for most of the Bluegrass. Southeastern Kentucky still could be getting in on a few light showers. That's into Sunday evening, but regardless, look at the rest of our Sunday, and even as we head into Monday, things aren't looking too bad. But through today, as far as the impact from the weather, flooding is once again the top priority. The winds will be strong, but other than that, we are mainly looking at the flooding as the most likely severe impact out of these storms today. So right around 83 degrees for your high temperature today, but that's going to feel a little bit warmer than that, especially considering the humidity out there. Working our way into Sunday, that's certainly a good-looking day compared to the rest, because by Monday, it's back to the thunderstorms, and we will also be tracking what could potentially be a little tropical system trying to spin up in the Gulf of Mexico into Tuesday and Wednesday. So some very interesting things happening in the world of weather for the week ahead. But today here in Kentucky, flash flooding is on the top of everybody's mind.
And a big break tomorrow, a much needed break.
Yeah, I mean, once that air dries out a little bit, by no means will be dry like a desert, but I mean, at least there won't be that much humidity in the air, and that will certainly be a nice break. Like
Better than it has been.
Most
Thanks,
definitely.
Mike.
Thank you, Mike. So a Texas artist has made an impressive sculpture dedicated to fallen Dallas police officers.
Yeah, it's made entirely of sand, includes a bald eagle, the Dallas Police Department seal, and the names of those fallen officers.
Wow, check that out.
What's even more impressive, the artist says he's still just learning how to make sculptures.
I'm also working on my craft. I started this 2 years ago, so I'm learning as I go, you know. It's kind of like putting a puzzle together.
Not bad for a beginner. That sculpture took 2 weeks to make. Very cool.
That is cool. Good for him.
It is 6:13 now on your Saturday morning, and when we come back,
Some parents of special needs students aren't happy with transportation options being offered by Fayette County Schools for an after-school program. We'll have a closer look when we come back.
but before we go on to break, tonight's Powerball jackpot is $52 million. Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $38 million. We'll be right back.
Start here. You're watching WKYT This Morning.
Welcome back, 6:16 on your Saturday morning. There's a nurse staff daycare here in Lexington. It's the only kind in the county, it's not associated with Fayette County schools.
But the Medical Treatment Center counts on the district to bus students from school to their after-school program. As investigative reporter Miranda Combs tells us, school leaders say they'll do it, but with a stipulation that doesn't sit well with parents.
We have seen a lot of incredible things here.
9-year-old Addison Jones is one of them. She can't see well, she's deaf, and has cerebral palsy.
I can't imagine what it must be like to just not be able to communicate. Someone has to be there with her, to sit with her 24/7.
And those that know her potential.
So she's wanting to eat and drink, which makes sense because it's close to lunchtime.
Yeah.
She's smart.
We feel like there is so much in there, and we have got to tap into how to get it out.
I'm gonna put one in and I put one in.
That's where this therapist comes in. He's just one of the skilled specialists at Kids Club, helping Addison communicate and move and just be a 9-year-old.
Did she attack my Teddy Grahams? I left it unguarded for too long.
I can't even begin to describe how important it is for these children to be able to play together.
Tammy Weiss is director of Kids Club, the only prescribed pediatric extended care facility in Fayette County. They have full-time and after-school programs for kids like Addison.
We have children that go to school and they need a safe therapeutic place to be after school. This is a need for them, so we advocate for it.
The center has been open for 8 years. Children are growing up here. That's the consistent part. But the inconsistency has been how they get here.
It was a real kind of kick in the teeth.
Parents got this letter from Fayette County Schools saying if you want transportation on Fayette County school buses to Kids Club for care, you'll have to move your child from whatever school they currently go to and send them to Glendover Elementary in the Kids Club district.
It even refers to us partnering with Fayette County Schools, and which is kind of misleading because we didn't know this letter was going out.
Do you feel like you're not being treated the same as everyone else?
Yeah, we do.
Addison goes to Southern Elementary. She's comfortable there, and so are her parents.
She's not changing schools. I mean, she's been at Southern since she was in kindergarten, and we're going to stay there.
Last year, the Joneses got an attorney involved, and a Fayette County bus brought Addison from Southern to Kids Club. Problem solved, they thought.
I was angry because she was already receiving these services from her school, from Southern, for the past year. And I thought, so now we're going to have to go through this again.
They know they need this place.
We don't have any family here either, so.
I know when she's here, she's gonna get everything that she needs. You throw it? Oh, good job.
There's a parallel between Addison's therapy of progress and setbacks to her parents' fight to make sure she's getting her fair shot.
Good girl.
She didn't ask to be born this way. this just is what it is, and we love her and we do what we need to do for her.
3, 4, 5.
We've learned that the school district and Kids Club have reached a solution, but we haven't been told what that solution is. Fayette County Schools said that most private daycares provide their own vans to pick up students.
All right, 6:20 now on your Saturday morning, and there's still more to come.
Sports is coming up next.
Stoops starts preseason camp delivering a fiery speech to his team, and Matt Elam is down to a slimming 350 pounds. That's next in sports.
And coming up, we're talking flash flooding here on this WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. And after the break, I'll break down why we're looking at southern Kentucky as the area of highest risk. It is a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day to kick off the weekend, and we are already seeing some thunderstorms breaking out across the bluegrass. Now, breaking out might be actually a bit of a blanket term, but we are seeing the thunderstorms. We look at northern Kentucky here moving through Harrison County. Now, if you're heading to Walking Dead Day in Cynthiana today, well, as long as you're okay with getting a little wet out there, the possibility is there. Now, we're not necessarily seeing thunderstorms over Cynthiana just yet, more so northern Harrison County and pushing into the Mount Olivet area. But thunderstorms are likely now to begin to break out. As this cold front tracks eastward, we are still looking at the potential for some relatively strong thunderstorms to fire up along it. You look to the west, and that's where we're finding some of those strong thunderstorms pushing eastward, bringing with it the lightning and the heavy rainfall. Now, I mentioned that we are looking at southern Kentucky as the area of greatest risk for flash flooding today. And the reason for that being is that we're first going to find that moisture and the thunderstorms along central Kentucky, but that's going to push to the south as we get into our late afternoon and evening hours and pretty much stay planted over the areas that just don't need to see any more wet weather. That'll pretty much stay with us into Sunday morning. So watch for local high water issues out there, and if you're heading to any outdoor events today, bring an umbrella just in case. Lee K. Howard is back in next with sports.
The football Wildcats hosted Media Day on Friday, and among the topics of discussion was a conversation that Coach Mark Stoops had on Thursday night with his team and staff. Now, after reporting to campus on Thursday, the players and the coaches met on Thursday night to discuss the upcoming fall camp and season. As several who were in attendance put it, Stoops was fiery and motivating.
If you weren't excited and you didn't have goosebumps, and then you don't need to be in this sport. You just didn't need to be in there. Because I was at the edge of my seat. I was ready to go. It's real. It's time.
He was getting pretty passionate up there, and it was exciting and everything, but you also don't want to make him mad and smile or something, because it's like, yes, sir, you got it.
At 350 pounds, Matt Elam isn't only the heaviest player on the UK football roster, he's the heaviest in the entire SEC, and that's after dropping some weight this summer. I caught up with the Elizabethtown, Kentucky native yesterday at Media Day. Matt Elam is large and in charge, but since arriving on UK's campus 2 years ago, there's been more talk about his weight than his play.
I feel like I got to change that. I just got to play better, and then I start talking about my gameplay more. So I finally, got to the weight that I want to be, so that I should be straight.
Elam, who played at 375 or 380 pounds last year, says he's down to around 350 pounds now. And he plans to shed another 10 to 15 lbs by the end of camp.
So I'll be here every single day, about 3 times a day, just working out whenever I can, And the eating right part, it came easy when I just kept working out, so just kept shedding weight easy.
And less weight equals more mobility.
Just move better, just be able to stay in longer, you make more plays, better, so.
But he's played some very good football for us. He needs to be more consistent with the weight loss, with playing more and being lighter on his feet and playing more snaps. That'll help all of us, but he's done well.
Now a junior, Elam is in line to assume a starting role at defensive tackle, something that has made him focus more on getting in shape.
It is me, it's my position. I'm not behind anybody, so I just play and, just go into, I'm the starter. I got to go in there. I got to face that person first. It's definitely a change, but I like the change.
And a lot is expected of that young man this year. Him and the entire Wildcats started football practice yesterday. They'll have fan day later today, and the Wildcats will have a chance to meet all of their fans and then another practice on the practice field. That's a look at your morning sports. Have a great day.
Now at 6:30 on WKYT this morning, state police are investigating after a body was found along a Clark County road. And the family of a missing Northern Kentucky murder victim thinks that body could be his.
Plus, 2 different Clay County officials are facing charges after a grand jury indictment. The details on their arrest coming up.
And it's Walking Dead Day in Cynthiana. We'll take a closer look at the Kentucky creation ahead on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning and happy Saturday. I'm Sean Moody.
And I'm Michelle Chamberlain. It is a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. Let's check in now with meteorologist Mike Linden.
We are looking at some active weather kicking off this morning, and as our day rolls on today, the potential for flash flooding will continue to rise. Right now on the Defender radar network, we're not necessarily seeing widespread thunderstorms, but what we are finding this morning is indicative of the setup that we are under, that being the chance for those thunderstorms to begin to bubble up. Right now over the Harrison County area, the Pendleton County area, we're looking at those thunderstorms now pushing eastward. If you're heading to Cynthiana for Walking Dead Day, not looking at any strong rain and storms right now, but the potential is certainly there based on the fact that these storms were really not here about a half an hour ago. So bring an umbrella with you just in case. We take a wider look, and there is a cold front moving into the bluegrass that's going to bring us this active weather and low pressure off to the west of us that will push eastward and bring us additional rounds of showers and storms. That'll be our day today. We'll be tracking these storms as they work their way into the area. And like I touched on, flash flooding will be priority number 1 out of what we could potentially see out of these storms. Coming up, I'll take you through the day and show you the areas that are at greatest risk.
Mike, thank you. Family and friends of a missing Northern Kentucky couple will search for them again today in Clark County.
A death investigation is already underway after the remains of a body were found over an embankment off Goshen Road, not far from Interstate 64 east of Winchester. WKYT's Mike Meyer is at our live desk this morning with details. Mike?
Kentucky State Police out of Columbia say they are hopeful the body found is connected to a missing couple who police say was murdered. The Clark County Sheriff says it looks like the remains have been there for some time. He also said it appears to be an adult, but he could not give any more details because the body was so decomposed. Kentucky State Police have taken over the investigation. They're also handling the investigation into the disappearance of Bobby Jones and Crystal Warner. Their bodies have not been found. Police have not confirmed the body is connected to the couple, but friends think the body found is Jones, which they say would then give the family some much-needed closure.
We're just hoping this brings us some type of closure to the family. God knows they need it.
Gives the family some relief, a little bit of closure, and that's all we're hoping for now.
The family is still waiting on confirmation that the body found is Jones. Police say they think the couple was killed last month in Washington County. Craig Pennington is charged with their murders. The family says they'll start searching for Crystal Warner in Clark County today. They say they got reports the couple's car was spotted there. As for the body that was found, state police don't expect to get a positive identification on it until next week. At the live desk, Mike Meyer, WKYT.
We're learning more about a violent burglary at a Lexington home. Police say a man broke into a home on Dogwood Drive, asked the elderly woman inside for money, then stabbed her. The burglar got away and the woman was taken to the hospital. Lexington police say they have questioned David Williams in connection to this case. Police arrested Williams for unrelated charges. According to his arrest citation, police say he also broke into his father's house on Hanson Circle off of Georgetown Street and stole $20. State police are investigating a deadly stabbing in Lee County. The Lee County coroner tells us the body of Billy Rourke was found on Hell Creek Road. Troopers believe Rourke was stabbed to death. They are investigating his death as a homicide. Troopers tell us they found an abandoned car about a half a mile from where Rourke was found. They are working to see if the car is involved with the case. No arrests have been made at this time.
A grand jury has indicted the Clay County Judge Executive and the county's road foreman. Police arrested Judge Executive Joe Asher and Road Foreman Buford Jarvis. They were indicted on 9 different charges, including abuse of public trust and bribery. Investigators say the 2 men used public money and equipment to do work on people's homes while still billing them.
These monies were never turned in,
And even if the monies had been turned in, the county cannot use public equipment that's owned by the government to do private jobs.
Asher's family claims he was set up and that he did nothing wrong. An arraignment date has not yet been set.
The Kentucky Department of Corrections says an inmate was taken to the hospital after being assaulted in a prison. It happened at the Eastern Kentucky Correctional Complex in West Liberty. Investigators say the inmate was taken to UK Hospital. We do not know his condition this morning. They have not released any other details about the assault. Lexington police hope some surveillance pictures will help them find a suspected jewelry store thief. Police say the pictures were taken at Farmer's Jewelry on Euclid Avenue last Friday. They say the woman seen here switched out a necklace she had been wearing with a white gold necklace the store was selling. Police say the woman left the store before anyone noticed. They say the stolen necklace is worth about $1,000.
The Federal Aviation Administration says it's received 4 separate reports of lasers, similar to what you see there on your screen, hitting commercial planes over Kentucky. They say all 4 happened late Thursday night and early yesterday morning. The FAA says the pilots of a UPS plane and a Republic Airlines plane, both flying near Lexington, reported seeing a green laser illuminating their aircraft. 2 other pilots flying near Louisville later reported the same thing. The FAA says no one was injured, and investigators are trying to figure out who's responsible for those lasers.
Kentucky's U.S. Senate candidates will make their first appearance together today at the Fancy Farm political picnic. Republican U.S. Senator Rand Paul and Democratic Lexington Mayor Jim Gray are both scheduled to face the crowds. This will be Gray's first appearance at Fancy Farm. The mayor of Kentucky's second largest city is making his first bid for statewide office. Meanwhile, Paul, who is finishing up his first term in the U.S. Senate, is a Fancy Farm veteran.
Kentucky is famous for its horses, its bourbon, and the basketball, but now the Commonwealth is being recognized for another creation. Today is Walking Dead Day in Cynthiana. The creator and the original artist of the Walking Dead graphic novel series are both Cynthiana natives and are expected to be at today's event. There will also be costume and trivia contests, plus interactive shuttle tours. It all gets going around 10 o'clock this morning and runs, well, we should say walks, I guess, until 6 o'clock. The event is free, but there may be some costs for some of those activities. Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman talked to our Amber Philpott in an exclusive interview. He admits he wasn't allowed to watch scary movies when he was growing up, but he now writes about those walkers. The main character in The Walking Dead, Rick Grimes, is from Cynthiana, and Kirkman says that was intentional.
It was a place that I knew, and I also wanted to do a story that, I don't want to say real people, but normal, relatable, average people.
Kirkman says The Walking Dead has been a labor of love for him. He and his wife are also focused on turning a home in Harrison County into a bed and breakfast as a way to invest back into the community they love. Kirkman and artist Tony Moore will play key roles in today's Walking Dead Day.
Schools across the Commonwealth are getting ready to open, and here in Lexington, we got to look at a brand new school. The new Garrett Morgan Elementary School is in the Hamburg area off of Polo Club Boulevard. Principal Sarah Woodford tells us they have had people from the neighborhood help them set up.
We've unloaded at this point over 10,000 boxes. We've unpacked 10,000 boxes in this building, and it took, truly, I mean, they say it takes a village, and it does.
There's another new school opening up. Coventry Oak Elementary School is on Huntley Place off of Georgetown Road. Schools in Fayette County start August 10th. On WKYT.com, we have a list of school start dates for several public school districts around central Kentucky. Kids in Fayette County can celebrate the new school year at the Lyric Theater and Cultural Arts Center. The annual Back to School Carnival is this afternoon from 12 to 3. The event is free and open to the public.
Not all superheroes wear capes or even have superpowers. Some superheroes just go to elementary school. Today in Nicholasville, the Child Care Network is giving away school supplies for some super kids. The giveaway runs from 10 o'clock this morning to 1 o'clock this afternoon. You can see the address for the giveaway right there on your screen. It's a milestone for a program here in Lexington. Fayette County's Defensive Driving School celebrated its 1,000th graduate. That course gives teens the skills they need to be responsible behind the wheel. The program in Lexington uses simulator trainers to educate teen drivers.
This course has really helped me figure out areas that I need to improve in and what to do when I'm in a situation where I need to avoid a drunk driver coming straight at me or a child on a bicycle.
According to the National Highway Safety Administration, car accidents are the #1 cause of death of teenagers. State Farm Insurance also donated $20,000 to the program.
You can run for the kids today at Keeneland. Today is the 4th annual LBX Dig Deep 5K Run Walk. The money raised goes to the Shriners Hospital for Children. The race starts this morning at 8:30 at Keeneland. If you have not registered for the race, you can get signed up at 7:30 this morning at barn number 2. And today is UK football's annual Fan Day. Doors open at 9 o'clock at Nutter Fieldhouse for an autograph session with the team that ends at 10:15. Now, there is a limit of 1 autograph per person. UK is asking fans not to pose for pictures with coaches or players. Fans can watch practice at the new practice facility from 11 to 12:30, and fans are asked to park in the blue lot adjacent to Commonwealth Stadium.
Football season almost here.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, absolutely. 6:40 now on your Saturday morning, and there's still plenty ahead coming here on WKYT this morning.
A Pokemon Go player made a wild discovery while playing the game. And what that player did afterward was just perfect. That's coming up on WKYT.
It is a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day, and I'm tracking the potential for flash flooding. Coming up, I'll show you the areas that are at greatest risk for it. Here we go again. The chance for flash flooding here on this WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. The reason why it is one is because of the thunderstorms now firing up that could once again lead to some flash flooding into the afternoon. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with. Robertson County right now, almost the entire county, albeit the smallest in the state, is almost completely filled in by the thunderstorms now pushing through the area. The Cynthiana area in Harrison County not too long ago was looking at some of those thunderstorms, but if you look just to the west of Cynthiana, additional thunderstorms now trying to fire up. That is what we have been seeing all morning long. Nothing becoming something, and that will pretty much be the theme of our day today as this cold front continues to move in from the northwest, bringing with it the chance for thunderstorms. We look off to the west as well. Low pressure riding along that frontal boundary and bringing with it additional rounds of heavy rain and storms. Not to mention, you look at the Missouri area. You see these 2 green boxes there? Those are flash flood warnings. Something that I guess is getting out there out ahead of the storms, and that is something that we could potentially be looking at later this afternoon as well, especially so in southern Kentucky. That will be the area of greatest risk as we move forward throughout our day today. Watch this. We'll start you off this morning and push into the afternoon. Right now, we're mainly just looking at the pop-up thunderstorms. As we get into the middle of our day today, around 2, 3 o'clock, it's at that point that things become a bit more organized. Notice this swath of moisture just stretched across the bluegrass. And that could be some heavy rainfall, and that looks likely to push south into southern and southeastern Kentucky. Bear in mind, areas like Clay County, areas like Breathitt County, saw about 2 to 3 inches of rain in about an hour Thursday evening, not to mention another round of storms as we head into the late overnight hours and into Friday. So those areas don't need any more rain, but it looks like more is coming, and that is why flash flooding could certainly occur in those spots. So we'll be keeping our eye on the areas south of I-64. Moving into Sunday, this is Sunday morning, mainly just looking at some pop-up storms over the south and the southeast. The rest of the state, though, is looking really nice. A little drier air for us, and that should take some of that humidity out of the air, make things feel a bit more comfortable for you on Monday, or on Sunday rather. Monday looks quite similar as well, although storms do once again begin to work their way back into the region as we head into the late afternoon hours. Today, though, we're mainly looking at southern Kentucky as the area of highest risk. You just saw we're looking at that moisture coming into the afternoon around central Kentucky and then pretty much pushing south and staying there as our evening rolls on. So the more north you go, the more that risk diminishes, but still looking at the chance for some potential local high water issues for spots like Fayette County or Harrison County. As far as what we'll see today, as far as the severe impact of these storms, easily flooding is number 1. The rest of the severe weather indices that we could be dealing with, potentially some stronger winds, very low and almost unlikely for hail and for tornadoes to occur. Certainly something that we'll have to keep our eye on moving forward here. But what we are likely to find today are the storms producing heavy downpours at times, which could lead to some flash flooding. 83 degrees for your high today, in the mid-80s tomorrow as well. Tomorrow easily the more comfortable of the 2 days. But if you're heading to any outdoor events today, namely the Walking Dead Day, in Harrison County, just be sure to bring an umbrella with you just in case. Those thunderstorms are already firing up, and we'll see more of them as we head into the middle of our day today.
Yeah, they got to protect all that makeup they're going to put on, right? Don't
Yeah.
they wear a lot of makeup to, you know, disguise themselves as zombies?
Yeah, but even still, even if it were to rain, that might kind of set the stage a little more, make it feel a little more eerie. Of
Make
course,
a little
thunderstorms,
apocalyptic.
never
That's
fun,
perfect.
but
Yeah,
you know, we'll see.
for sure. Thanks, Mike.
So there's this wildly popular game, Pokemon Go. Have you heard of this?
Somewhere, I think.
Well, it's got one player in Texas going wild.
Yeah, this player actually found an abandoned box of kittens. He then called 911 after hearing an alarm go off at the Central Texas SPCA. When a sheriff's deputy got there, he said he found no problem at the shelter except for the 5 kittens running around the parking lot. Now, close to them was a box that read, quote, "Sorry for leaving them like this. Caught them all yesterday." A volunteer at the shelter says it's a good thing the player found them.
It's one of those things where something good has finally come out of Pokemon Go. Well, several people have posted on our Facebook page that we should consider naming them something related to Pokemon Go, so we'll think about that.
Our producer suggested Meowth, Mew, or maybe Del Caddy. Whatever names they decide, these kittens will be forever fosters, meaning the Central Texas SPCA will pay for all of their expenses.
A good find while you're playing Pokemon Go, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't beat that, especially a good outcome for them. We'll hope for the best.
Yes.
6:49 now on your Saturday.
We'll take a look at your money when we come back.
The trade deficit is growing, and a new type of ATM for hungry college students. I'm Marley Hall, and I'll have those stories and more coming up in your CBS Money Watch report.
Welcome back to WKYT this morning, 6:52 now on your Saturday. Now, of course, everyone has their own personal taste, especially when it comes to music.
Very true.
Yeah, that's why Spotify is going to make some changes.
Yeah, plus students at an Ohio university are getting an ATM that dishes out something even better than money. Is that possible? Marley Hall has the latest.
The U.S. trade deficit has climbed to a 10-month high, driven up by a spike in imports of oil, cell phones, and clothing. The Commerce Department reports the deficit rose to $44.5 billion in June, with imports outpacing exports. U.S. stocks rallied Friday after a better-than-expected jobs report. The Dow gained 191 points. The Nasdaq added 54. And music to the ears of Spotify fans, a new feature aimed at making it easier for subscribers to find new sounds that fit their personal taste. Release Radar is similar to the service's Discover Weekly playlist, but the focus is on recently released tunes. And the pizza ATM will soon be here. Xavier University in Ohio is about to unveil a new contraption that pops out hot pizzas on demand for hungry students. It's the first machine of its kind in the U.S. so far. Students are giving it a thumbs up. That's your Money Watch. For more, log on to CBSMoneyWatch.com. In New York, I'm Marley Hall.
Welcome back. It's 6:55 now on your Saturday morning.
There are plenty of events going on around central Kentucky today. Here's a look at what's taking place. It's Walking Dead Day in Cynthiana. The creator and original artist of the Walking Dead graphic novel series are both Cynthiana natives and are expected to be at the event. It all starts at 10 o'clock this morning and runs, well, we should say walks until 6 p.m. The event is free, but there may be some cost for some of the activities.
It is a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. If you are heading to any outdoor events, we are looking at the potential for thunderstorms developing as we head into the middle of our day today. Flash flooding will be number one as far as what we could see out of the heavy rain. Southern and southeastern Kentucky, the areas of greatest risk moving forward. The more north you go, the more that risk diminishes. But regardless, we are still looking at heavy rainfall out of these thunderstorms moving forward. We're already seeing a few of them getting going this morning and pushing eastward. We'll see most of those storms, though, kicking off as we head into the middle of our day today and carrying into the evening hours. So again, if you are heading to any outdoor events today, bring an umbrella with you just in case. And of course, if you do happen to drive up to a roadway covered in water, don't even take the chance. Turn around, don't drown.
For sure. Nobody is more up to date than you to start your day.
We'll be right back with more news, weather, and sports on WKYT This Morning.